I got lost in an endless summer along the coast in the pine.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for pressing play. It means a lot to me. Today I have with me Dave Rosales, a friend of mine, super talented musician from Huntington Beach, California. We're going to talk with him today, see what he's been up to and what he's doing. We're going to talk about his foundation, the Brave Ones Foundation, right, Dave? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Brave
All
Ones
right,
Foundation.
cool. First and foremost, Dave, cheers.
Cheers, brother.
What are you drinking, bud?
Drinking Negro Modelo. Yeah,
Solid, man.
lime in it. Yeah, it's good for
With a
something else.
lime? Yeah, dude, that is very California. And then I got my Four Noses. For those who don't know, this is probably the best microbrew, if you will, in Colorado. Check it out if you can. All right, Dave. So I met you through, if I remember correctly, it was a post I did about Warner Drive, and you commented on it, and then you submitted your music through my website. I was hooked. Do you remember that time?
I could have sworn it was through like Close Encounters, like on Craigslist. I swear. That's
Back page.
back page, man. No. It was. You were a promoter down here in Huntington Beach, and we were a band. At that time, I was in a band called Silent Treatment, and you were repping Warner Drive, which is another band from LA, pretty hard. And I think we just connected through that. I think we went to go see a Warner Drive show at Perks when they were used to play there. I think they still do play there. Yeah, I think it was just pretty easy going, and we had some beers and got drunk a couple times, more than a couple times.
Yeah, and I think what's after drunk, like blackout period? I think that goes down.
Having a good time is what
There you go, man. All right, man. So you're currently in Huntington Beach right now, right? Cool. Tell everybody who's watching and listening where a little brief history of Dave Rosales.
Grew up in a suburb of Los Angeles called Glendale. Had older brothers and sisters that kind of turned me on to different types of music, from Hendrix to Johnny Cash to Van Halen, Motley Crue. I was a kid on the block that was listening to everything a little bit earlier than my peers were. Watching MTV probably before I was, it's advisable, but it really kind of shaped who I was. I mean, I can remember watching Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle, which really kind of put a boot in my ass to like, this is cool. This is what you want to do.
Man. Right.
There was just something about Axl and Slash and Duff and the whole crew, and they just looked so cool. I was a little kid, and and then Nirvana came along and kind of made it possible. It seemed possible that I could play guitar, and it was something I could do. And got a guitar from my grandfather, probably like 11 or 12, and started playing in bands from junior high. We would skateboard and play music and play at dances, and and then there was high school bands. I was in a band called, Lounge Act. And then I went to the LA scene, probably my senior year of high school. I was like 18 in a band of 25, 29-year-olds who I thought were ancient at the time. But thinking back on it now, it's like if they were ancient, I must be like just dead now. But,
yeah, right.
But it was cool, and it was a good education. And I was just kind of in Hollywood playing these clubs like the Coconut Teaser, Martini Lounge, the Whiskey, the Roxy, all these different Dragonfly, like these places that just kind of I cut my teeth on before I could even get into the place, just because I had a guitar. I remember my girlfriend was like 17, and I used to sneak her in. She was the photographer basically, so I'd sneak her in, and so it was a real cool education, and everything from the dirty Hollywood of it, bass player from Argentina that was doing coke next to me in a rehearsal room to I'm going like, I got calculus in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh
Dude,
man.
that's just LA, man, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was
If
it was
that
a good
wasn't happening,
education. Yeah,
if
man.
that wasn't happening in LA, then man, it'd be rock and roll would be boring. You know what
I'm
I'm
sure,
saying?
I'm
Right.
sure a lot of people have that same kind of experience, where you're just kind of like cutting your teeth and you're learning on the fly and you're just kind of soaking it all in. But that whole Hollywood rock thing kind of made a huge impact on me, and I sought it out, and then I got broken up with, by a girl, my first love, and started writing some love songs, and that kind of spawned Silent Treatment, which was a project that I had going for about 10 years or so,
Mhm.
and with some great guys, great musicians, and we put out some really solid music, and
That's an
toured around
understatement.
yeah, toured,
Understatement, bro. You know,
thanks, man, yeah.
I was a fan. You know, and if for all those watching, go check out Silent Treatment, the Fear music video. Friggin' love it, man.
Yeah, that's one of those crazy ones where it was like I remember exactly where I was when we filmed that music video because uh, I was hungover from the night before. It was Halloween. Uh, it was the day after Halloween because we were up in San Luis Obispo on Halloween, like we would always do. We would play this little place called Frog and Peach pub up there, and got just super tanked. And I remember we were like, "Oh man, we got a music video to do in the morning," and you could still see like some of the eyeliner
Mhm.
from my costume the night before. And yeah, it was wild times, man. It was a great time. Wouldn't take it back, and we did a lot of good. And then after that, kind of went off and did a solo thing that wasn't didn't really know where I was going to go, but knew I still wanted to play music, and so I took this EP called Smile that wasn't supposed to be for anybody except for family and friends that I'd recorded, and started playing like hotels and wineries and doing this wine tour like up and down the coast here in California, and meeting up with a girl named Olivia May, and she was amazing talent as well, and
Very,
released
very
released
talented.
some
Yeah.
great music,
Mhm.
and went all around the country, did PR tours, and then uh, kind of we had our thing, and started doing more solo stuff, organically. Um, yeah, we just I've just always kind of had music and sports. Those are the two kind of like constants in my life, but yeah.
Very good, man. You know that "Too Young to Know Better" song you did with Olivia, hands down my favorite song.
Yeah.
Why, Dave? And the reason why I'm doing this whole podcast is to get musicians like you know, more exposure because I think that song "Too Young to Know Better," right, should be on the radio.
Yeah,
Why is it not on the radio?
it actually it was on it was on college radio, getting a lot of spins. And so when I go on tour, I hit these markets and different things in college towns back east, and people. That song is just one of those songs that kind of resonates with people. And as a songwriter, you always hope that those songs are gonna, in Silent Treatment, we had a song called "Some Other Way" that I wrote, and that resonated a lot. Fear resonated a lot with people. Key to My Heart is another song that resonates, and you just hope for these little gems, that what they are, they're the singles of the album. You
Straight
got to
up.
kind of,
Yep.
as a songwriter, real quick, like in the songwriter's process, it's like there was a time where I would write songs and I would like stop at a point because I was like, oh, this song can't, it's not the one, it's not going to get me there. So I would just stop it. But
Mhm.
now you just kind of go through. I read about this author conference for writers where a lady said, I now give you permission to write crap. Because if you don't write crap, and I'm not saying anything I've written is crap, but some stuff's better than
Mhm.
others. Um, you're never, you don't know if that crap song is going to get you to the next amazing song, that Too Young to Know Better, or the Finally Fine, or the Every Now and Then I Can Use a Friend song, or
Mhm.
you know um, Sunshine, or stuff from the new album that I have.
Mhm.
And yeah, so it's always just writing. I love Stephen King, and he writes
Hell yeah, man.
a ton of words a day, and you just got to keep on writing, and so that's
Real
what I do.
quick,
Yeah.
favorite Stephen King book. Go.
Oh, I read that when it was the
Oh,
first book that scared me,
yeah.
man, and it is huge. It is like
Straight up. Oh yeah.
if you
Mhm.
drop it off a 4-story building, it's gonna kill somebody.
Oh yeah. I
But
have it. I actually have it somewhere.
yeah,
But The Stand is mine. I think The Stand is
Sand is a good
hands
one.
down my favorite book. Yeah.
Well, it's like an epic kind of like thing, man, and it's
Right, man.
all encompassing. But It was the first book that really scared me, and I'm a big horror nut. I love horror movies and horror books. I'm reading Stephen King's son now, Joe Hill. I read a ton by him, and so I think it's important to read. You know, I'm reading classics this summer. It's crazy, going off on a tangent, but like my whole like kind of New Year's resolution this year was to read more, and as a writer, it's so important, man. So I just read Treasure Island, which is insanely good book. There's a reason why that's been around since like 1860. You know,
I haven't read that book, I think, since junior high. Treasure Island.
I wouldn't have gotten it if I read it in junior high. Like the words are so beautiful, and the poetry that he puts together, Robert Louis Stevenson. I read it out loud to my daughter, and I'd explain basically everything that was going on, but it was so beautiful. I was like, this is one of my favorite books ever. So,
that's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Hey, let's talk about current Dave. You're going around, you're playing shows. We're gonna talk about Chris Isaak and Brandi Carlile, but who are you playing with right now? You have your band of Scoundrels, right?
Yeah. So they're a collective group of friends and amazing musicians that I'll kind of get together and jam with. And so when it's me with more than a trio and more, then I call it David Rosales and his band of Scoundrels. If it's just me or a duo, I just call it David Rosales. Just kind of lets people know like what to expect. And I call my kids rascals, and so like the natural progression of a rascal is a scoundrel. So and it's just kind of a fun little thing, and but everybody that I play with are amazing musicians. I don't play with assholes. If they're too much drama, I cut them out.
Right.
So everybody I play with is legit, and they're all get referred to you by somebody. They're like, somebody knows you, and so they're like, hey, this guy would be good for you. It's almost like dating, like, this guy would be great for you, the style of music you play, they get along with you, they'd be a good hang on tour, so that's a lot of things, good hangs on tour. And
I've noticed, like when you played with Brandi Carlile, you had yourself a drummer and a slide guitar guy, right? I guess that's how you
yeah, it's a pedal steel, so that gives the real country, crystal-y kind of country sound.
But then sometimes you have more band members.
Yeah.
So when do you decide to be like, hey, I want 5 people versus 2?
Different shows call for different things. As an opener, sometimes you don't get the luxury of choosing exactly what you want.
Right.
So I had the whole band ready to go for this last one, for that Brandi Carlile show, but her agency thought that it'd be best, since she was playing as a trio, that the max I would play with is a trio. So I had to kind of pick what I was going to do. It was really hard for me, because I was like, should I go with a drummer and a bass player, or should I go with a drummer and a steel player, and I just felt more comfortable just doing drummer and steel. And those are two of my favorite scoundrels, two of my good friends, Jeremy Long, who plays steel, and then Marco Sanchez has played with me for a long time on drums. So
do you still have the video of that concert up on your Facebook, Instagram?
Yeah, I think it's all up there. You can find it. Yeah, I had Pacific Amphitheater is a union venue, and so I bring my roadies along, who are actually my surf buddies here, to just hang out and kind of keep me balanced backstage, and just drink beers with me, and just kind of hang out. But I gave them the job of just kind of doing the social content stuff, so they videoed the whole thing on all my platforms and stuff.
I got anxiety for you watching that. Whoever it was filming you walking behind the scenes.
I love that stuff, man.
Dude, it gave me anxiety. I was like, I can't even imagine what Dave's going through right now. Just like the nervous energy must have been off the charts.
That's like, I guess I can equate it to football. That's, when you're getting the kickoff and the drum line's going and stuff like that, and you're just like amped and you're pumped to go on stage and you're ready to hit it and just kill people. And that's always my favorite part. Like in a music documentary, like you see the Chili Peppers, like what they would do pre-show. Or Metallica, just walking through the hallway up to the big stage or something. And that was always my favorite part. And that's the part that people don't really get to see. They don't get to see that backstage stuff. They don't get to see a lot of stuff. But I just kind of wanted to shed some light on it. And we have some more content. I had another buddy who's actual like videographer guy, so he's putting together some really like good backstage bits and stuff.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Perfect. All right, so let's talk about Chris Isaak.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big deal. I mean, I'm not trying to downplay Brandi Carlile. I mean,
Yeah.
per my notes, 6 albums, seven Grammy nominations. In 1 year, she was nominated for 6 Grammys. That's pretty awesome. So she's kind of a big deal. However,
she's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, exactly.
She's an amazing person too. She's great.
Chris Isaak.
Hmm?
And it's not the fact that you just opened up for him. It's the fact that he seemed like to be a fan of yours.
Yeah, he was. Well, he picked me. I don't know if Brandi's who picked me out for the opening slot at Camp Theater this year, but when I opened up for Chris, he specifically chose me, and he specifically went through Too Young to Know Better. He was like, "That's the guy. That's great." He was standing side stage because my crew was there standing side stage, and they heard him say, this guy's really good. I like him a lot. And
I remember the
cool
picture.
afterwards.
Yeah, I remember the picture. It still gives me goosebumps to know that, man. You have someone like Chris Isaak sitting there watching you on, the big stage. To me, man, that was just,
they're just
awesome.
fans of music too. They're just normal people. They put their pants on 2 legs at a time, just like you.
Yeah. Sometimes.
And right. Yeah, man, it's quite an honor. He was such a cool cat, and I've loved his music for a long time. Amazing songwriter, love his vibe. But it's like you have these moments where you get to kind of meet some people that have been in the show for a long time, like Joe Perry or just Michael Anthony, from Van Halen. That was cool. Just these cats that you kind of look up to, that you're like, oh wow, these guys are amazing. And then there's a lot of people that you meet, and they're just they're your contemporaries, and you're just like, oh, it's Mello, good to see you. Everybody worries about the same shit, and that's
straight up.
I got 2 kids, I'm running around, just did swim practice, I gotta go do a gig later, and I'm wondering like how I'm gonna eat and all of this, it's like, yeah.
Dude, but that means something's going right, when you're like, hey man, how am I gonna eat when I have a gig later? I think And it's, what is it, the Sawdust Festival you're playing, right?
Yeah,
in
it's
Laguna.
this magical little festival in the canyon that's been going on for like 52 years, like super hippie, and I love being part of it. And they ask me back every year, and I just feel so just privileged. So
yeah, man. All right, so listen, you are sponsored by a guitar company.
Yeah, I'm endorsed
Who
by
is it?
a Canadian guitar company called Godin. A lot of people, it's spelled Godin. You like Godin, but I guess French Canadian would say Godin. And they have Siegel under their umbrella. They have a bunch of guitar companies, Siegel, Art and Lutherie, who has their new Americana brand, which you see me play like a black kind of rustic looking guitar, acoustic on stage. That's the Americana Dreadnought. They're an amazing company, and they're the only North American guitar company that goes straight from tree to stage. Everything goes through their facility right there. Nothing gets shipped anywhere. It's all right there in line. An amazing company. 2 brothers run it. The father started it. Just can't say it. It's a little family, and I get to see them. I get to see them all and drink with them probably once a year at the NAMM show in January.
How'd they find you? That's what I know. How did they find Dave Rosales?
I just went up to them, and I just started a conversation with the rep, who's a really good friend of mine, who's not with the company anymore. His name's Richard Buns. And we just struck up like a friendship. Everything is relationship based, whether you're on a tour with somebody or whether you have different band members or you and me. I mean, it's all, life is relationships, and you just got to build them and not be fake about it.
Good,
and you got to foster them. And
this is why I think, man, exactly what you just said. Don't be fake, man. Foster your relationships, right? Because you never know.
People can tell if you're just trying to like get something from them, and it's like, the minute you try and get something from somebody, it's like, dude, you're out. Like, it's just people being people, It's like,
that's good, man. And it sounds like this, and I'm gonna butcher it. I apologize. Godin. Excuse me. Right. Yeah. Sounds like they're good people, man, and they see the good in you, and you're a pretty genuine dude, man.
Yeah, man, and they they like the songwriting. I'm not Slash. I can't play the guitar like Slash, but everybody has their strengths, and mine's definitely songwriting and singing.
And the voice. Voice, man. Yeah.
Thanks, man. Yeah, the voice has gone through some changes, whether it was silent treatment and really kind of nasally in the mask singing and power singing, to now where it's really smooth, kind of like, you know, some nice whiskey or something.
It's pretty fun. It's funny that you mentioned that because yesterday when I was preparing for this, I was going through your videos, right? The silent treatment to Too Young to Know Better, and then some of your newer stuff, and you can just see that transition of your voice. And it's
Yeah,
pretty awesome to see, like, you know, the journey, if you will, to where you're
yeah,
at now, you know, vocal wise. Let's talk about the foundation you're involved in because it's pretty freaking cool, man.
yeah, man. It's we have a foundation that we started less than a year ago, so it's still in its infancy.
Mhm.
I don't know anybody that has a foundation. It's called, you know, so this is all kind of new to me. So I started with my wife and two of our friends who lost a child. So that kind of was a catalyst for the foundation. And then my wife and I always kind of wanted to start a foundation, but that was like a pipe dream. Like, okay, one day we'll start a foundation, you know? It's like
Right.
not a reality. And then they were like, hey, let's do it. We have the lawyer, the attorney to make it a 501c3. Everything's legit, nonprofit. So it's called Brave Ones Foundation. So they were like, "Hey, can we take the title of your album?" My album came out last year called Brave Ones,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Hey, can we let's use that?" You know, because what we're doing, it's a foundation centered around helping, you know, children, you know, children in need type of a thing. So there are little brave ones, you know,
Mhm.
and kids are dealt tough hands, and they don't have a choice in it. And so that's a thing that really resonated with me,
Mhm.
and you know, just kids are the
Well,
most.
it's
Yeah, man.
resonating with a lot of people because
Yeah,
you guys are getting donations like crazy.
yeah, yeah. We're
I was
getting
blown away
grants,
when I saw. Yeah.
donations. Yeah, we're
Oh.
doing some great stuff, specifically here in the community in Orange County. But we plan to spread out from there. But right now, we're working to build a new neuroscience playroom um, at Children's Hospital of Orange County. So a lot of the money that gets put into a children's hospital, LA or wherever, goes towards oncology, kids with like cancer, leukemia, those types of things. Rightfully so, but they get so much money and they can't give it to any other unit. They don't. They have more money than what they know what to do with, basically. But there are
Wow.
other units like the neuroscience, like, you know, kids with epilepsy and these types of things, just neuro conditions that they need a lot of help too. And it's crazy when you actually walk the halls and you see these kids having hundreds of seizures a day, um, and their playroom. And these are kids. These are 4-year-olds. These are like, you know, all the way up to like, you know, 17-year-olds. You know, but little babies to like this, and it just breaks your heart, man, and crushes you. Like, I'm a dad, and it just you know, kids are. My whole belief is that kids are perfect, the closest thing you'll ever get to God, and then environment changes them. But you know, kids have no say in this stuff,
They
you
really
know.
don't,
and
man. Yeah.
and when they're getting they go to like a break room with fluorescent lighting and this type of stuff, and they have neuro conditions, it's tough. So you need neurosensitive lighting, wireless EEGs, so that they can go do testing and go play like a little kid, you know. So yeah, man, that's the.
I'm so proud of what you, Kendra, Jeff, and his wife, what you guys are doing with that. I think it's awesome. I wish more people would do it. And I even know Cheyenne. I think she has like a monthly donation that goes to you guys.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, and you can
Yeah.
go to any passive donating, like you can go to smile.amazon.com and designate Brave Ones Foundation for all your stuff that you normally get on
Mhm.
Amazon, just normal stuff,
Right.
and a small portion of that Amazon will donate to us, or you can just go to braveonesfoundation.org and donate directly. And
And I'll put the link down below in the
yeah,
description on the video, man, so that people will be able to just go and donate because I think it's a great cause. Um,
yeah.
all right, man. We're gonna finish this up. What do you want to say to your fans, like that already know you, and those who don't know you, who just watch you and were just like, dude, that dude's pretty rad. I'm gonna start listening to him. What do you want to say to those people?
That's such an asshole. Okay. No, man. Just check out. You know, just keep living the dream. Don't ever let anybody tell you to stop. You know, if you got a passion for something, just go ahead and do it. Just full on. Just put your head down and go. Um, that's all the kind of positive kind of stuff. But you know, I would say, yeah, just check out davidrosalesmusic.com. Check me out. Love to see you at a show. Um, you know, touring a lot, get this new album out, and being back in the studio in the wintertime. We're releasing a Ray LaMontagne a cover song later on this year, which is something. It's going
Which
to be a
one?
good one. I
Which
can't
one?
tell you that. I can't tell you, but it's going to be a heavy blues song, and all the Scoundrels are on it, and it's something I've kind of had in my back pocket for a little bit, and
Awesome,
I'm going to release it this year. We're trying to put together a video for it, and yeah, it's in the next album, man. It's gonna. Let me just say, I'm getting more comfortable with my rock roots, so you might find some, I don't know, higher energy type stuff on this
Perfect.
as well.
Perfect.
With the as well with the the kind of singer-songwritery stuff that people have gotten used to. So, yeah.
Well, Dave, man, I really appreciate you taking the time to sit down for this. I know you're busy. You got a show tonight. Good luck on that show, man. Thank you so much. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I'll be providing links down below for Dave's page, his foundation. And yeah, go ahead, like, share, comment, share with your friends, please, because this only works if you guys watch. So
yeah, man, thank you, Josh, and to everybody out there, just keep watching. Josh is gonna have amazing guests on, and
thanks, buddy.
just keep trucking. He's a good dude, and just support him. So
Likewise, bud. All right, guys. All right, take care.
all right, brother, have a good one.
Along the coast in the pine, and I made plans to go see about her, safer for the heart to hide, but I lost